Welcome everyone to Inspirage's Unscripted video series. My name is Ty McCrossin. I'm a Senior Solution Director here representing our logistics management practice. Today's topic is global trade management, trade compliance, and my guest is Dan Scherner. Dan is with Oracle. Dan is a Senior Principal Product Manager in Product Strategy representing global trade. So Dan, welcome. Thanks for joining.
Thanks, Ty. Glad to be here today.
So Dan, can you just give it maybe a little bit more on your background, how long you've been with Oracle, things like that?
Sure. Yeah, I've been at Oracle for 10 years now, or more than 10 years. Lost count at this point, actually. But quite a while since our first release of Oracle Global Trade Management back in late 2009. And I've been with the product ever since, focused on, just continuing to deliver and improve our capabilities in the global trade compliance and customs space.
Yeah, that's great. I can't believe it's been 10 years, Dan. I know you and I worked together when I was at Oracle. So, boy, that has gone fast. So, all right. Well, thanks for joining. So, Dan, I got 5 questions for you. So
Sure.
let's just jump right in. So, question 1: how do you, as well as Oracle, see the overall market for GTM going forward? Is it growing? Is it static? Is there, expansion from a geo standpoint?
Yeah, I think there's growth along multiple axes that our customers and prospects have to think about as we look at global trade going forward. We're seeing governments that already have complex regulatory regimes getting more complex.
Right.
New initiatives around, forced labor, supply chain security initiatives in a number of countries, really driving companies to have a deeper awareness of their entire supply chain, going back not just to their vendors, but to the suppliers of their vendors, basically all the way back to the origin of the most raw components, and getting that kind of deep, detailed understanding of the goods they're procuring, where they're coming from, who's helping to make them, and keeping that supply chain ethical and secure. So we're seeing that type of depth in many countries that's driving the need for global trade solutions as kind of a part of the larger solution, because that also involves a lot of business process change,
Right.
auditing, partnering with your vendors. So it's not just a software problem. But we're also we continue to see the growth of global trade just geographically, as well as more countries evolve and deploy more advanced customs systems, more robust IT systems in various countries. You're continuing to see kind of a broadening of the countries that require a strong, robust global trade solution, as well as like a deepening of the market into more complex supply chain security areas.
Great. All right. Well, thanks for that. So for our audience, when we talk about GTM, that stands for Global Trade Management. And at Oracle, there's also another solution, OTM, Oracle Transportation Management, which is number 1 in the market. So Dan, are you seeing more traction with selling GTM with OTM these days? Do you see it as a multi-pillar program?
Yes, we definitely do, Ty.
Okay.
A large number of our customers and the prospects that we're currently working with are looking at the two solutions together. With them being natively part of the same platform at Oracle, there's a lot of benefit to be achieved from having, really great visibility into the physical movement of goods that OTM gives you as part of your customs and compliance processes, right? So that you're not kind of just working with things like a sales order or a purchase order in an abstract, but you also have that tight coupling of the true physical planning and movement of goods to accompany it. And I think that's become a really common way for our customers to deploy the solution is tightly coupled for better visibility into their supply chain and the movement. goods.
Good. So question 3 is lengthy. I had a friend in our global trade management practice, Mike Beverland, share this with me. So bear with me as I read this one. Have you heard much demand for real-time / synchronous transaction screening, where GTM performs screening ad hoc without saving the transactions or requiring user interaction? How about that?
We've had a couple of customers inquire about it, but it is not common by any means. So we do provide some web services to support that scenario.
Okay.
You can do ad hoc restricted party screening where we don't persist any records in the database. And you can also do ad hoc compliance screening and license checking. But one of the issues with that approach is that it really requires the system that's calling GTM to have the ability to now do all of your exception management and handling when there's an issue, right? So if GTM responds that, oh, there's a compliance hold on this, this needs a license, the source system now needs to prompt the user, hey, you need to go get a license, which means you're talking to another global trade system at that point.
Right.
Most ERPs themselves don't natively have the statuses and the workflows in them embedded to kind of then now handle that. What do I do when there's a problem sort of scenario? While GTM provides you with more of the dashboards and the workbenches where you can now go resolve those, troubleshoot them, dive deep, figure out what, do I need to file any regulatory paperwork? Do I need to make any alterations to the shipment? And then resolve those issues. So while we do have the occasional customer that inquires about them, kind of the nature of compliance leads you to, I need a system where I can help resolve those problems. And then for most regulatory concerns, I also need a long-term audit trail, right? So I need to show the government that I'm taking good steps and being good stewards with my business transactions. And if you don't leave a record in your database that you've done the analysis, then if you get audited in the future, what do you have to show the government entities or the customs authorities to prove that you're being a good steward of your imports and exports?
Okay, gotcha. I will make sure Mike Beverland watches this video so he can have that answer.
I'm happy to chat with him more about it.
Yeah, we'll get you on a call. So, hey, question number 4, which kind of leads into what your role is, product roadmap, right? What's the focus for GTM over the next several releases, right? You got 23A,
Yep.
B, C coming, right?
Yep, 23A definitely kind of wraps up our focus on free trade agreements. This has been a real big initiative for us over the last 12 to 18 months, is to get really robust supplier solicitations and free trade agreement qualification tools out to our customers, which we've launched at no additional cost. They are included in the broad platform for every GTM customer to use. So we're excited to see a lot of our customers starting to uptake those capabilities here and roll them out. And then as we move into kind of the 23BC 24 timeframe, our next phase of development is really focused on what we call trade incentive programs or duty relief programs. These are programs where there's some kind of regional component around them and requires tracking the movement of goods through a zone, whether that zone is a bonded warehouse and it's a specific small facility, or that zone is the entirety of a country or the entirety of a continent, like a European Union inward processing relief program where you're tracking the movement of the goods, or a foreign trade zone in the U.S. and Chinese EPZs, EMEX in Mexico. There's a lot of these programs around the world that require detailed inventory tracking as the goods move to pair your imports to your exports. And that's going to be a big part of our near-term roadmap.
Wow.
And then we're also working on ways to leverage new tech to enhance and rebuild the workflows for a lot of our existing tools as well. So our customers should also look forward to improvements to restricted party screening, classification, document handling, things like that, as we look at how we can use emerging technology or just improvements in our tech stack to make the lives of our current customers just easier and better on an everyday basis.
Yeah, that's good. So a lot of good stuff coming down the pike in 23 releases, 24. And my last question was, I think you already jumped to it, key enhancements to existing functionality that's in the product today. So I think you hit a few there. Anything else there you can share, or you feel good about it?
I feel pretty good about it. I mean, to be
good answer.
To be more specific, we're looking at using machine learning in both restricted party screening and some classification and anomaly detection scenarios. We'll probably be diving into more post-entry audit type tools as well. And just really, the customers have actually started to engage really well with our idea labs. So we're looking to make sure that we're getting, direct customer ideas that have been voted on in our forums directly into the product with each release. So that's something we try to make sure we do in every release is pull in, the stuff our customers are voting on as a top priority.
Dan, that's it. I'm out of questions. I appreciate your time. It's good to see you. And I appreciate you jumping on this unscripted video. And we'll stay in touch. Thanks, Dan.